on, the friends? My name is M2Dates, and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Gameboy Advance. Where I left off last time, we got warped to the Dark World, and then we, right off the bat, we completed our first Dark World dungeon, Dark Palace, and now in this part we're going to be exploring the Dark World, now that we have the items accessible to explore the Dark World. So, here we go. Now that we got the hammer, which is the item of the dungeon in Dark Palace, we are opened up to explore quite a bit of the Dark World. There's still a good number of things that are blocked off still, just due to lack of equipment still. The game does open up after you beat Dark Palace. It opens up substantially to the fact that you can actually do the Dark World dungeons in many different orders. So like I said, there's 8 of them. You always have to do the first Dark World dungeon no matter what. After the first Dark World dungeon, you can do the dungeons in a bunch of different orders. However, you always have to do the 8th one 8th, and then there's also some limitations as well with a few other dungeons, because some dungeons require items from one dungeon versus the other. This is where the game starts to get pretty non-linear. And so I'm going to be, going around. We're going to be getting a lot of things. So, stay tuned. Alright, first off, go ahead and, oops. Alright, there we go. That guy will give you the shovel, so that way you can, dig up the flute that he said he was playing. He was actually the flute boy in the, Light World, which is what our main world is called. And so, now we get the flute. In Japanese, it is called the ocarina. So, depending on how you consider things, this would be the first game that introduces the ocarina, and not Ocarina of Time. But because it's called the flute in this game, I will not count it as the first game that introduces the ocarina. Alright, so now we're playing something really fun, and that is the digging game. So, the digging game is very fun. And by fun, I mean not super fun. Basically, you dig a bunch of holes in 30 seconds, and you can get hearts, rupees, and then there's a really big reward that I'm looking for in here, which is a piece of heart. Now, obviously, of course, I need a piece of heart. And to get the piece of heart is completely random. So, we're going to be here for quite a bit. The way it actually works is, the first 25 holes that you dig up has a 0% chance of dropping a heart piece. And then every other dig is a 1 out of 32 chance of getting the heart piece. Now, in this version, your odds of getting a heart piece is higher, even though it's the same amount of odds per hole. And the reason it's higher is because, as you can see, you dig a lot faster in this version compared to the Super Nintendo version. And also, the other plus side is that in this version, you can actually dig in 4 directions, as opposed to left and right only in the Super Nintendo version. So digging is a little bit easier, but you can still take forever here if you're really unlucky, which hopefully it doesn't end up like that. And if it does, then that's extremely unfortunate. So if you don't get the heart piece in this place, then you gotta hope that you get a lot of rupee drops, because playing the digging game is 80 rupees every time you attempt this, which is a lot of rupees. And so anytime you fail, You gotta keep retrying until you get the heart piece. Hey! We found it! Oh my god. Well, that took a bit more tries than I'd like that to take. But that's okay. Alright, well, anyway, now that we got the heart piece and all that's over with, we're gonna go ahead and head this way. Go ahead and mirror over to this spot on the other side of the digging game. And, now we have this minigame, which you could actually do much earlier in the game, like basically as soon as you get to Kakariko Village. But it's just more convenient for me to do it here. You're supposed to go inside that house right there, and then you have to bomb some walls. And I mean, you'd be using up some bombs, and so you know we're saving some bombs, and that's why I decided to do it now. And then here we are, now we're actually in Kakariko Village, and now we're going to be doing the many things that you can do here. There's actually a lot that you can do, and half of them you can't even do, well, half of them you could do, like, early on, and then there's some that you can actually do, like, basically now, such as this flute right here. We're going to go ahead and activate it. Well, we're going to go ahead and play the song from the ocarina, well, the flute, over to the statue right here. It's a duck. Like, that's not even a bird. That's a duck right there. Like, it has a large beak. That's what ducks have. But anytime you play the flute now, then that duck will appear, and the duck will transport you to 8 different locations. We have Death Mountain, we have the Witch's Hut here, Kakariko Village, Link's house, Eastern Palace, the desert, the swamp, and Lake Hylia. I feel like that's a little... Okay, never mind, we're good. Alright. All those chests in there are a bunch of rupees. 20 rupees each, so that's 80 rupees that you can get. But I have a lot of rupees, so I'm not going to be picking those up. Okay, so once again, these are stuff that you can get way early on. But we're gonna get them now. Alright, so pick up those bombs right there. And then over here we get ourselves another heart piece. In fact, that gave us a new heart container. So that's 12 heart pieces that we got so far. And now we're gonna be heading on to Dark World Kakariko Village. And let's see what it's like in the Dark World. So you just gotta go around like this. And then you gotta hammer these pegs right here. Pick up this rock. And then there's a portal that'll take us to the Dark World. And so now, this is what Kakariko Village looks like in the Dark World. First things first, we can play a little minigame. So this minigame is 30 rupees per attempt, and we gotta open up 2 chests per attempt. And that was the first try. Let's try this again. So, the chess game has several different rewards that you could win. So there's bombs, there's arrows, there's hearts, there's rupees, and it's 30 rupees to play per attempt. You can even get a bunch of rupees sometimes. Like you can get like 100 rupees on one of the attempts, which is really nice. And then you can also get a heart piece, which I just got. Yeah, we're gonna go this way. To get a heart piece in the chess game, it's a 1 in 8 chance per chest. So you basically have a 25% chance of getting the heart piece, basically, per attempt. If you add the chances together. But we got the heart piece. Didn't take us very long. And then I also got the magical boomerang from that one chest in that bombable house. And the interesting thing about that is that it's supposed to contain 300 rupees, but you notice very early on, I did not pick up the boomerang in Hyrule Castle, which is what you're supposed to get. And that's because if you don't get the boomerang in Hyrule Castle, then you can get the red boomerang. Then that chest contains a red boomerang in the bombable hut. And I'm gonna assume that the reason that it works like that is because the game does not want you to miss any items, and at this point, we cannot go back to Hyrule Castle. So, you know, it's pretty interesting how things work like that. Alright, this room is garbage. Okay, we are having a hard time. Okay, there we go, we made it just fine. What am I doing? Alright. So, if you are playing along, you are going to notice that I am in Thieves Town right now. Normally, we are supposed to go to somewhere else. And you're going to notice that this is actually the 4th Dark World dungeon instead of the 2nd Dark World dungeon. So I'm actually going out of order. And the reason I'm playing out of order is because it's very helpful early on to go to Thieves Town as early as possible. And you'll see why after we beat the dungeon. It's so much worth it than doing the dungeon in order. Like, I'm normally, like, for LP purposes, I like doing things in order. But the order just makes things harder than it should be in this game. Alright, I'm gonna kill this guy, because that guy's gonna be in my way. Okay, we're gonna grab that fairy. Not because, like, this part's hard. Wait, what? Did that guy just respawn? I'm confused, but alright, whatever. But yeah, not because this part's hard. In fact, this dungeon's, like, pathetically easy. So, you know, also, what the heck happened? That was weird. My dash didn't work for a moment there. That was a little weird. Alright, go ahead and hit that so that we can go through here. And then now we're back to this room. I'm gonna pick that up in case something bad happens. And then now we have to fight. Too bright! Alright, so this is blind. So blind is a crazy fight. Look at this. So that head's gonna be flying around throughout the entire battle. And then now there's 2 heads, and then this is where things start getting really crazy. Oh man, we beat it. So, it doesn't look like it, but the fight is always the same. So as long as you fight him the same way every time, then it's always going to be the same results. I messed up a little bit, so it got a little bit out of hand, but either way, the fight should not be hard, as long as you fight him the, like, same way every single time. Someone, thanks to you, I was able to escape the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. As the sages sealed the way to the Dark World, the Knights of Hyrule defended them from the attacks of evil monsters. I heard that the Knights of Hyrule were nearly wiped out in that battle. You are perhaps the last one to carry on the bloodline of those knights. It's ironic that the last one in the line has the potential to become the hero of legend. Surely you can destroy Ganon. Do you understand? Yes. Alright, so I still need rupees, so I'm gonna go and head over here into this house. Dash up. And then 300 rupees. Voila! Alright, now I'm set for rupees for basically the rest of the game, which is awesome! Okay, so the reason why I went to Thieves Town as early as possible is because the item dungeon is the Titan's Mitts, and the Titan's Mitts allows me to carry dark stones. Yeah, dark stones. And you need to lift up those rocks in order to free this guy. This guy is pretty helpful. First off, I'm gonna just hammer all these things down because I feel like it. And it's a very, very slow job. Ah, I can't believe this. It's so slow. And very tedious. Oh, but look, a staircase appeared. And look, a heart piece. Whoa! How did I know? It's so unexpected. Alright, but if you go ahead and warp back to Light World, and then it turns out this guy is actually a dwarf, swordsman dwarf, who is part of the of that. So you pay him 10 rupees, and he's going to temper your sword, which basically means he's going to upgrade your sword, which is nice. So meanwhile, while we're waiting for our sword to be tempered, there's a few things that I can do in between, such as this. So if you warp back to the Dark World and you deliver that guy back to the shop, then a purple chest appears in the Dark World, and there's a pretty cool thing that you can do with the purple chest, and that's what I'm going to show you. First off, you fall down that well, and then that mad batter. It will, he's gonna trick you and say that he's gonna cut our magic in half, but actually, it's a good thing, because what happens is that any item that uses up magic gets reduced by half. Which means that, effectively, you can use any magical item, a lot more times than you otherwise would, which is a really good thing. So now we got the Tempered Sword, and the Tempered Sword is a sword upgrade. So now we can do a lot more damage, and it's very useful from here on out. And that's why going to Thieves Town as soon as possible is so worth it. Because now what we're about to do is we're about to go to our 3rd dungeon now. And, you know, because this is our 3rd dungeon, we're not really supposed to, like, well, actually, this is our 3rd dungeon. We're doing this dungeon as our 3rd dungeon, so it works out. That's not good. Okay, we're good. Okay, this room sucks. Just letting you know. But that is a huge relief that we got through that room, no problem. Because those mummies, more specifically the Gyptos, they do 2 hearts of damage, and they move all over the place, and it's a disaster. Okay, cool. So normally, you're supposed to go all the way around. You're supposed to like fall down this hole in those set of 9 bushes, and then it'll take you to that chest. But I just did another bomb jump. It's kind of similar to the one that I did in Mountain Tower. And then that also skipped me from having to do a bunch of backtracking. Well, not backtracking, but skipped me having to do a bunch of roundabouts, which is nice. Alright, so now we're up to the main part of Skullwoods. So, as you can see, Skullwoods is supposed to be a very complicated dungeon. There's a bunch of different ways that you can enter the dungeon. So... Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. Alright, cool. That was a little bit scary. Uh-oh. That's no good. Okay, okay, we're good, we're good. But yeah, there's a bunch of ways that you can enter the dungeon, which is why it's very complicated. It's very easy to get lost, and that's actually the point of the dungeon, is to trick the players into getting lost. But I know the way around, so that's not to worry. This fight's really hard, by the way. Oh my god, I did it. Oh man. But for real, that is supposed to be a hard fight. Because those spikes, if you leave this guy alive for a very long time, then the spikes just go crazy. And I'm not kidding, and he hurts a lot. 2 hearts of damage. So this fight is very brutal. But we did it! Someone, thanks to you, I was able to escape the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you! Do you know the prophecy of the Great Cataclysm? This is the way I heard it. If a person with an evil heart gets the Triforce, a hero is destined to appear. And he alone must face the person who unleashed the Great Cataclysm. If the evil one destroys the hero, nothing can save the world from his wicked reign. Only a member of the Knights of Hyrule who protected the Hylian royalty can become the hero. You are of their bloodline, aren't you? Then you must rescue Zelda without fail. Very well, and that is what we're gonna do. Alright, so, once again we completed 2 dungeons, and so, next time, we're gonna be seeing what dungeon we're gonna be doing next, because we're, once again, making very quick progress, and making things pretty easy, even though a lot of this stuff is actually harder than I'm making them out to be. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.